Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Paul Talks Patriots. Today, for this episode, we're going to be mostly talking about the NFL playoffs. I had the privilege of interviewing Charlie Leopold. But first, to go over just some quick notes on the Patriots. They had two interviews over the past 2 days for their offensive coordinator position. First being Nick Caley. He is the current Rams tight end coach, and he was hired by the Patriots as an offensive assistant in 2015. He spent all of his career as a coach with the Patriots, being promoted to our tight end coach from 2017 to 2022 before making the move over to the Rams this past season. The other candidate for our offensive coordinator position is also on the Rams' current staff. It's Zach Robinson, who is their current quarterback coach and passing game coordinator. He's had that position since 2022, but has been working with the Rams since 2019. He got his post-playing career started working for Pro Football Focus as a quarterback development coach and analyst, which I thought was pretty cool to have that position. Robinson has had other teams reach out to him about their coordinator position, so he's kind of a hot commodity. Nick Caley, I don't think he's been getting as many calls about openings, but interesting to see how that will play out. We'll talk about that later as the offseason goes, but for now, I would like you to listen up to me and Charlie's interview on the NFL playoffs. I hope you enjoy. All right, welcome, Charlie. Good to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me, Paul.
Yeah, of course. Big week in the NFL with the playoffs, the divisional rounds. First, I want to talk about the Patriots, and then we'll break down what happened over the weekend. So the Patriots really haven't been in this position in a very long time. And I mean, I have my strong opinions, but I haven't really talked to anyone outside of our fan base. So I really just want to get an outside perspective on what you think the Patriots should do in the draft this year and maybe some free agents they should target to help improve their team as well.
I don't know much about the who's going to be a free agent, but I'll definitely give you some of my opinions as to what I think the Patriots should do. I think that the Patriots team needs more players than a quarterback can fix. And I think that if you guys draft a quarterback in the top three, you're going to throw him to the Wolves just like you did with Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones this year. I don't think it's a bad thing for you guys to maybe trade back, acquire some more picks, maybe get some more players, and get yourself in a position where when you do get that quarterback, he'll be better suited off to have success. Not to mention, this is an incredibly deep quarterback draft. You guys could easily get someone in the third round, fourth round, later than that, even, and they could be a serviceable starter. I mean, look at what the Texans did with Davis Mills. It's an option.
Yeah, that's definitely true. It's tough. There is a lot of our defense, not too bad, but our offense has a lot of holes. Um, do you think in the first round, if they stayed where they are, do you think you just said that you probably not quarterbacks? Do you think they should go for a left tackle or a wide receiver? Because it's really been, from what I've seen, it's been either Jaden Daniels, Joe Alt, or Marvin Harrison that we're drafting.
I mean, obviously, when you're at the third pick and there's a quarterback that you love, take that quarterback. But don't do what the Niners did and mess that up.
Yeah.
Also, getting back to that, think about the classic Joe Burrow, Penei Sewell, or Jamar Chase. They ended up going with the wide receiver, and now their quarterback's been injured for an
Mhm.
entire year. And Penei Sewell would have been great. Not to say that like they've got other options there at wide receiver. So I'd personally I think I'd go offensive line there.
Okay, I love that pick. I'm all for Joe Alt. I think he's going to be great in this league, but it feels to me like they might be forcing it drafting Jaden Daniels, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And I'm sure we'll get a better feel after free agency
You know,
starts.
you could also get someone like you could get kind of a journeyman guy and definitely draft a top quarterback and have him sit behind so he doesn't have to immediately start playing.
Yeah, I think that's where we went wrong with Mac Jones. Started off decent. I think he would have came in with a lot more confidence if he just got to sit behind someone like we had Cam Newton. We cut him for Mac Jones to start.
Well,
So
Cam Newton wasn't the guy.
no, I agree, but I would have rather Mac learn the system a little bit more
Yeah.
before we toss him out there. So
One of my friends
who
keeps
they
saying
know.
Jameis Winston.
For the Patriots,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that. I mean, he's a fun guy to watch and he's just entertaining himself. So
Yeah.
if we got
If
stuck
you're
with,
gonna get him though, get Marvin Harrison.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And then maybe, I mean, you're not going on a deep playoff run with Jameis Winston at quarterback, especially
I don't
with,
know. You could.
yeah, well, our offense. I don't
If
know.
Jameis Winston is gonna win the Super Bowl, he's gonna do it with the most obscure stats.
Oh, 100%.
And I'll be rooting him on.
But yeah, it's all anything's on the table right now for the Patriots, I think, as far as how they can approach this offseason. But it'll be interesting. As far as Belichick goes, do you think that was the correct move for the Patriots to make for their future?
Yeah. It was probably like I'm not a Patriot fan, so I don't have that connection. But for you, that was probably a really tough band-aid to rip off. But you got to move on before you get better. You gotta move on before your team starts to get better and rebuild. And yeah, I think it was the right pick.
Yeah, as a fan, I mean, it definitely hurt to see him go, but I think everyone was expecting it and was happy with it. But I agree, it was a tough band-aid to rip off, mainly for Robert Kraft because of their relationship
Yeah.
over the years and the loyalty that they've showed to each other.
I
Um,
think they did it in a great and respectful way.
I agree. I agree because I don't think they liked each other too much at the end. I think they're getting sick of each other, but they still made it seem like they had a great relationship, which I'm sure they will in the future, but they handled it well.
Yeah, they did.
Um, So let's move on to the playoffs. I mean, like I said earlier, it was a great weekend for that. I just want your a quick rundown of the games. Were you surprised by any outcomes? Did you think any games were going to be blowouts and ended up being close, or vice versa?
I thought all these games were. Okay, I thought all these games could have had an upset, and I don't think any of them did. But I think all of them, the top seed was definitely on a hot seat. The one that really surprised me the most was probably the Texans Ravens game. I thought that the Texans were going to put up some more points, but that just shows how good that Ravens defense is. Like
Yeah,
they're the real deal.
I was rooting for the Texans. I was a big Texans guy this postseason. I mean, CJ Stroud to me is just one of those guys like how do you not root for him? Uh, but they overachieved this year. So the fact that they
Oh
made it
yeah,
this far is just that's very promising for their future with CJ and D'Amico Ryans as their head coach.
I'll say a bold take. I think in like 3 years we could be looking at a Packers Houston Super Bowl.
That's very true. I like that. I mean, you got two promising teams with uh most importantly promising quarterbacks
Yep.
and two great young head coaches there who are
And they
also
both got really good weapons. Like
yes.
they're both surrounded by some incredibly good weapons. Tank Dell going down early in this or early later in the season definitely hurt the Texans. But those Packers wide receivers are dangerous.
Yeah, and what I think, I don't even know. Maybe Watson is the oldest. I'm not even sure, and he's in his what third year, something like that.
Yeah, third year.
That's
They're a
crazy.
scary team and they're only gonna get better. And they're another team that over succeeded this year.
Yeah, agreed. Hopefully they don't screw that up and they can keep all of those people together on one team. You
I
never
think
know what's going to happen, but
the only player that might leave would be Aaron Jones, but I don't know what his contract situation is.
yeah,
But it's going to be really interesting next year watching the Packers and the Lions.
I agree. Um, but as far as the Packers game against your 49ers, uh, yeah, did you
just give me what are your thoughts on the 49ers performance over the weekend?
So when this game happened, I was not in the best state of mind to really be giving out some of the most intelligent sports predictions. So giving myself some time to really think about it. Um, I truly believe that Debo was a much bigger part of the game plan, and losing Debo so early threw them off. So I think in that first half, they were trying to figure out if they could still run the same plays without Debo or not. And then in the second half, they kind of just like started to focus on we have to win this game. It doesn't have to look pretty, but we have to win this game. I think Purdy struggled, and I think that's something to kind of look forward at. But at the end of the day, when all the cards were on the table and it was you got to score a touch, you got to get us in a position right now to score a touchdown, or we're done. Our season's done. Your career might be done. He went down. He was 6 for 7, 49 yards, and was able to put McCaffrey in a position to get that touchdown. So I think he won the game that he almost lost.
Yeah, he saved himself definitely.
He
I
saved
mean,
himself.
I honestly haven't seen a quarterback play that bad in a little bit. I wouldn't say a while, but at least a little bit. But he showed up when it matters, and that's
Yep.
that's all that matters. Honestly, he won the game, got the job done. But there was just some throws he made that I was like, I was honestly mind-boggling. I was like, you could get a high school quarterback to go make better throws than some of the
I
ones he
wouldn't
was
go that
making.
far.
I mean, you got
He
simple
did.
screen routes, you got slant routes, wide open down the
He did. He
field.
did have some bad throws, and I'm not gonna say that he didn't. He hit a Packers defender right in the chest on like the first drive of the game.
Yeah.
Um, I think Debo not being there. I heard something today where it's like Debo missing hurts the offense a lot more because he does all this pre-snap motion. So without him doing that pre-snap motion, without him being the guy that's doing it, who's making all these threats, it's definitely harder for Purdy to find an open guy.
Yeah, I mean, well, that gives Purdy a great sense of what defense he's playing against too.
Yeah,
Just the motioning,
yeah.
pre-snap. Have you heard anything about Debo for next week?
I've been monitoring this. They're saying he's 50-50 right now. He didn't break or fracture anything in his shoulder. At first, the reports were like this is the same injury that he got against the Browns, and it took him 3 weeks to get back.
Hmm.
I think he'll play. He's a big identity to the team. He likes to present himself as this tough guy, wide receiver, um, and he's got beef with CJ Gardner Johnson.
Yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
about.
they got legit beef,
Yeah,
and
and,
I
I mean,
think he's going to show up for that.
it is the playoffs, so I mean, if you're gonna play hurt, now's the time to do it. It's that
Now's
final
the
push.
time. And even
He's
just having him out there as a decoy, like if he's just doing the pre-snap motion, that'll even just open things up. But if he doesn't play, I think they should possibly move McCaffrey to a little slot and get Elijah Mitchell in there.
I love your thinking
Yeah.
there. McCaffrey can definitely get the job done. I mean, you guys have them split out a decent amount already. I feel like,
Oh yeah. I mean, if he just took over Debo's role and then you get someone else to just kind of run the ball, then you can still do some stuff.
yeah, 100%. And that's not even to say that McCaffrey is split out wide the whole game either. Obviously, they're going to give him
You
his
know?
fair share. You guys got enough weapons where I don't think your whole game plan is out the window. You got plenty of stuff, plenty of weapons to go to.
You know? Yeah, we're in a pretty good position. I mean, Jawan Jennings had a freaking great game. That guy stepped up. I think he's the best number three wide receiver in the league.
I mean, he surprised me. I mean, I know of him. I've seen him play before, but I've I don't know, you can attest to this, but I've never seen him put on a performance like he did after Debo got hurt. He really
He's
stepped up.
he has big moments in games, but it'll be like one catch and it'll be like the biggest third down play. Like they
Okay.
go to him on third downs because he's that reliable. And he was really able to do a lot in that game. And I'm a big Juwan Jennings supporter.
He's got the clutch gene, that's for sure. He proved that.
He's JJ. Juwan Jennings.
Jawan Jennings. Do you think there's anything on either side of the ball that the 49ers could improve on from that game?
Definitely just Purdy's consistency. Um, if he was consistent the entire time, because there were a lot of drops, there were a lot of bad throws. If he could have just made a couple more better throws, cleaned that up a little bit, I think we would have won by 2 scores.
Yeah, I
But
easily. I don't
the
even see
deep
it being close.
that defense is playing bend don't break, and they're doing a great job. Dre Greenlaw is coming up there for one of the best linebackers in the league, and he's got the best linebacker in the league next to him. So they're incredibly dangerous. I would love to see some more production on that defensive line. We got a lot of big names, and they're not getting big results.
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, I don't remember seeing a single sack. I'm not sure if
I
they
don't think
did
they got a
get one.
sack.
Yeah,
I don't think
that's
they got one.
see, you guys have a great defense, but I feel like a lot of it is Bosa and the rest of the line doing that for you guys. And it's scary. You can't give these quarterbacks that much time back there to read. Jared Goff, obviously, if you pressure Jared Goff, he's gonna make some mistakes, but if you give him time, he can also dice up a defense and throw for 400 yards. He's done it before, so I
Yeah,
mean,
they got some good wide receivers too.
yeah. So I think that's probably what I would say is your biggest key for next week is getting pressure on Jared Goff and making him trying to scramble because he gets nervous and his game goes down a lot if he has to move around outside of the pocket.
I do like the matchup with Jared Goff. Jared Goff is 1-4 against the 49ers. He's someone that Kyle Shanahan knows and he knows how to beat. So I do like that matchup. And I heard today that most of that Lions offensive line was playing injured towards the end of that game. So that's definitely something to monitor.
And
But if the Niners can get some pressure on Goff, I think they're going to walk away with a couple sacks.
yeah, Ragnow, their center, got hurt, and I'm not sure how serious it was. I haven't heard anything about that,
Yeah,
but if he's out, he's like their anchor on that
yeah.
offensive line. So that
I'm
is
excited to watch
fair.
Penei Sewell and Nick Bosa though.
That's going
That'll
to
be
be
a good
a
matchup.
phenomenal
Yeah.
matchup. That's going to be a prove it game for Sewell, I think, as a,
And
as
then right
a young
across from
player.
that, on the other side of that, we got Hutch going up against Trent Williams.
Yeah,
So
another.
that those are two really good matchups right on the line, right in the trenches that are going to really determine the game.
I'll be watching those matchups. I hope other people try and pay attention in the trenches on the linemen. For once, give
Right.
them some spotlight.
It's going to be a good matchup.
So, would you have rather face the Lions? Were you happy that they beat the Bucks?
I mean, how could you not be happy for the Lions to get this far? How could you not root against Dan Campbell? I will be rooting against Dan Campbell this week, but um, obviously I wanted the Bucks like to play the Bucks. I'd much rather play the Bucks.
Yeah.
Baker's 0-5 against the Niners. We played them already this year, beat them. They're just a less dangerous team. And if I'm going to get into a dogfight with someone, I don't want it to be Dan Campbell.
Hmm.
So,
I agree. I agree. But you got to also give the fans what they want. You're gonna get a great matchup.
oh, this is going to
That
be a good matchup.
NFC
Oh,
game. Yeah, for sure. And in the AFC, who do you think is taking home the win in that Ravens Chiefs game? That's going to also just be an amazing game. And to tag along, who would you rather play in the Super Bowl if the Niners win next week or this upcoming game?
those are two great questions. And I think the Ravens are probably the better team all around. Uh, but there's something about Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. It's so hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, even with how good this Ravens team is. They're by far the best team playing football, and they have been all season. But Mahomes in the playoffs is terrifying. So I think Mahomes will win, but I think it'll be an absolute nail biter. And then to piggyback off of that, I've seen two Super Bowls in my life, Paul. Two Super Bowls where my team is in it. The first time I was in sixth grade, and Joe Flacco made me cry before school. And then the second time I was a freshman in college, and Patrick Mahomes broke my heart. Give me the payback against Mahomes. Joe Flacco's gone. Give me the payback against Mahomes. I want to be up 10 to the fourth and not blow it this time. I want my revenge.
I love that. I love that energy. I agree. I made the mistake of betting against Patrick Mahomes last weekend and did not turn out well for me. So I'm on the same page as you. You still have people that I'm hearing that are just all on the Ravens this week. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I would say they have the better roster, but they don't have Patrick Mahomes. And what's this? Their sixth straight AFC championship game now. he's already given Brady a run for his money. The fact that he's even in the GOAT conversation right now,
I wouldn't put him that far. I mean,
well, he's on pace. He's on
if he
pace.
retired today, he'd go to the Hall of Fame. But
Yeah, no GOAT right
Brady has
now,
that
but
GOAT locked up. No one's coming close to
he's
that for a while.
he's on that trajectory though.
He is on the trajectory.
And I mean that I hate to admit that, but it is true. You got to expect greatness when you see it. But it's gonna be a great game. I think I'm going Chiefs too. I'm leaning Chiefs. I just like I said, how can you not pick Patrick Mahomes? He's just a winner. Um,
Yeah.
and also to go back to what you also said, I mean, I think Brock Purdy probably does a better job in the Super Bowl than Jimmy Garoppolo did when you
Yeah.
guys faced a couple years.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, and if you guys get that lead, your defense isn't blowing it, and Brock knows how to keep a lead too. So I would say I would favor you guys in either matchup. And I do want to see the Ravens beat the Chiefs, but my gut's just telling me Patrick Mahomes is going to be playing against you guys in the Super Bowl. So
Well, I don't want to discredit Lamar Jackson at all because that man is a magician. He
mhm,
is so good. League MVP, best quarterback that played this year, just off his ability to just move the ball, move it with his legs, with the air, and what he's been able to do. It's incredibly impressive. And there is the bias where, yeah, in the last 2 years he's been injured. We haven't really got this is his first like really healthy playoff run where he's making some noise. So I definitely think that's hurting him in this conversation of why people are giving the edge to Patrick Mahomes. But
mhm.
Lamar Jackson is no joke, and this Ravens team is absolutely no joke.
It'll be a good one. I don't know.
It it's exciting.
Yeah, it's good for the NFL. That's all I'm gonna say. Whatever happens, I mean, you can't go wrong with either matchup that you get
No.
out of all of them. But it'll be interesting to watch. Um, that's all I got, Charlie. I appreciate you taking time to interview. Uh, and it'll be fun to watch. So I can't wait to
Well,
hear what you have to say after the 49ers game. I'll definitely be keeping in touch with you.
I'll either be very loud or very quiet. No in between on that one. But Paul, thanks for having me on the show. It's been a blast. Everyone should go and subscribe to Paul's channel. Killing it right
Great.
now.
Appreciate it. All
And
right.
all right.
Thank you, Charlie.